Good afternoon. Welcome to the first of our short Free Me Friday videos. I'm excited. I'm learning new things. I want to share them, especially around the issue of mindfulness. Questions about how much we are able to tap into the subconscious part of our brain. My life was not always easy, fun, exciting. I gradually had to change the way I think about things, change my belief around money, around success, around living. And I'm gradually getting there. I'm not there yet. But I want to believe that most of the beliefs that I've learned over the years, I've learned to be able to identify those that don't work for me, and I've changed them. Um, a lot has been said and discovered about the process or the topic of mindfulness or consciousness engineering, as people call it. And books are written every day, studies are ongoing about it. Mostly stemming from the issue, why do other people find it easy to learn personal development, to use books that help them apply the law of attraction, to help them get more money, manifest more abundance in their life, attract love, etc., etc. And it boils down, in my view, from the research that I'm busy doing and I'm continuing to do, and the reading and the insights that I'm getting, it boils down to looking at your operating system, meaning the brain. We are born with a brain, things are put into our brains by our parents, grandparents, society. We attend schools, and things are told to us about what is acceptable in life and what is not. Do you ever think that our brains need rewiring, so to speak, a new model, so to speak? Obviously, not getting rid of your brain, you can't do that, you'd be dead. But basically saying if we are able to upgrade phones, new car models, a number of things, new microwave, a number of things that are upgraded on a daily basis, shouldn't we be able to do the same for our brains? Things that worked, obviously at a given point those things would stop working, right? So those things are updated to ensure that they perform at their maximum capacity and they are able to perform much faster, that they're able to perform at a greater speed, etc. Now those things happen because people are able to see things differently using different thinking. And you can only do that if you are consciously going to rewire your brain, i.e., software upgrade, get new information. You might find that you bought this wonderful book on getting money, making money, but it doesn't work for you as easily as it does for the person that might have sold it to you or might have even suggested it to you. Why is it not working for you? You may ask. But it is because there are things that we first need to free ourselves of, old learning that we need to get rid of in our brain to ensure that new learning can happen. It's not going to be easy. I'm still work in progress. It's not easy for a number of people, but I want to believe that it is doable. It is possible. Now, a guy by the name of Vision that I normally follow and read, he talks about rules, things that you thought were rules but are not serving you, things that you grew up to believe in but are not serving your progress. As a female, male, it doesn't matter. Now, talking about rules, it literally means you need to tap into certain things that might make you uncomfortable, whether it's about religion, customs, your culture, and things that you need to believe in. I'll give an example of what I believe is a rule, that women should dress appropriately or women should cover up because if they don't, they entice men. What is that exactly? What does that even mean? But it's because somewhere, somehow, society got to a point that somebody thought if women did this because it made them uncomfortable, they would make it a rule in a certain culture or community. Now, most of those are beliefs that we are imitating from people that we learned, as I indicated earlier, parents, grandparents, your religion, your cultural beliefs, etc. In the Zulu culture, for instance, and it's something that I used to practice, which I've stopped, was intombazana yilimile, which directly translated that as a female girl child, you are not supposed to eat while standing up. You need to sit down because your things in life won't go well, you will not succeed. Or another one, which Zulu people, some might agree with, that directly translated, a girl child should not eat directly out of a pot because when the day she gets married, it will rain. Really? Is us pot eating? Then if that was the case, then we should have eaten pot in Cape Town. There was drought. So it means there was going to be rain for all the weddings that were happening in Cape Town around that time. That to me was rules. But as I grew up and I was told that, eventually at some point I know that my older kids, I would apply that, but I've stopped because I've realized that it doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve them. It doesn't matter whether or not they eat out of a pot. If on a particular day, in terms of nature and everything that does in terms of melting will happen, the weather will change, it will rain or not. So those are pros. Now the question is, are you ready to free yourself from the old beliefs that have held you back for so long, hold you back from living your best life, held you back from understanding how to change and live impactfully and happily? If you are, great, because I am. My discovery of consciousness engineering through, like I said, Mindvalley was awesome because I was already tapping into how do we live a purpose-driven life as females, not only as females, as youth, as people. Now, if we are going to tap into this mindfulness, which I translate to make it easier as designing your own life, reorganizing how things happen. New ideas are being, every other day are being coming, new models, so to speak, are being designed about this mindfulness or consciousness engineering. There's thousands out there. You need to take a step back and say to yourself, okay, what I need to do to be able to identify things that no longer serve me. How do I get to a point where I identify something as a brew, which if I look at it, it is not serving me well in terms of my success? This is how you go about it. Ask yourself this question: is this a relative truth or is it an absolute truth? An absolute truth, specifically or directly translated, is it applies to all religions, all races around the world as long as they are human. That's an absolute. An example of an absolute truth is parents must take care of their children. So you can't have a newborn and desert that person and expect them to take care of themselves. Whether you're white, black, colored, Indian, yellow, green, you stay in New Zealand, South Africa, Sao Paulo, as a rule, if you're a parent, your responsibility is to take care of your newborn or your child until they are big enough, obviously. A relative truth then would be that men are relatively bad or men are relatively good, or the same for women. Women are relatively bad or good, gold diggers, whatever label you want to put in. Does that apply to everybody? Does that belief apply to everyone that you know, every culture, every age group? No. So that's a relative. That would help you identify what is absolute and what is relative. That is where I would suggest that you start. Now, questions that I want to leave with you as my 10 minutes coming up is, you need to identify, one, if that belief is based on humanity, meaning not breaking the rule of law. Ask yourself, does it serve my happiness? When I continue to do what I do, does it make me happy? Or do I have that silent voice that comes to me and say, I shouldn't have done that, Now, I believe that we are here to be happy. We came to the world to become happy, to achieve what we want, and to aspire to be bigger and greater. Nobody wants to be nothing. Nobody was born to say, Mina, I don't want to grow to be successful to have that. But then the things that we learn in life, meaning that software upgrades that we were given as we we're growing up, might have stopped our growth. Now, this is the time to free yourself. Come on, free me Fridays. Get free. Let go of those beliefs that no longer serve you and your growth. You can ask, why am I starting about that when I said I want us to talk about abundance and mindfulness? But because I believe that a greater software upgrade is the basis of success. Whatever template, program, coaching, reading you want to follow, you first need to upgrade upstairs. Because if you absorb that learning into the old beliefs, it's as good as you're just wasting your time, because you need to be able to clean up the beliefs that were holding you from moving forward for you to be able to absorb new information. Hence, I call it software upgrade. Now, in closing, in terms of finalizing my view about being mindful, is you need to be able to cut yourself some slack. You know, by that I mean, remember that it is something that you need to stop yourself from doing. Pick it up, identify when you are in that mode, and then ask yourself, does it serve me? Is it breaking a particular rule? Does it make me happy? Or I'm merely doing it because I'm trying to please my parents? Because most of the rules that we did, we have people that I speak to when I coach, go out to my speaking engagements, who say, I did because parents thought it was a good deal. And those people are most of the time. They have not gone to find. They are insecure in what they do because they simply did it because somebody said it was a good career. So, in closing, I'm grateful that you listened. I hope that you will join me next Friday where I go deeper into the aspect of how you start by being mindful after having identified those rules that do not serve you, as Vision says. There are rules that don't work. Identify them. How do you consciously make sure that you wean yourself off them, meaning you stop practicing them? And then we can go on to our next session, trying slowly to get to a point of how do I become mindful in everything that I do, so that all the positive aspects, you read positive books, you follow positive mantras, you do them for a week, 2 days, or 7 days at the most, you forget about them, because then something else in your subconscious, because it's something that your programming tells you that you're good enough, you're not supposed to do it, you will not succeed, etc. I believe that we need a good foundation for us to be able to start this unlearning process, to be able to free our minds and our brains in terms of how we want to live abundantly, succeed, and generally be happy, because that is what we came to do. Our purpose was that.